Google Pixel phones are getting popular, but where the company used to have 1 or 2 models a year, there are now 4, none of them identical to the others. And since a big part of Google Pixel marketing is around what the software can do, whether that's through AI-powered photo and audio tools or other smart features, you might be wondering whether the different phone hardware even makes a difference, or even which is the best model to buy. I'm Cam Bunton from Pocket-lint, and in this video I'm going to explain all. So let's start with the most obvious phone in the range, because it's the one that gets all the hype, all the excitement, and is undoubtedly the flagship phone of the entire lineup, the Pixel 8 Pro. It's not cheap, but thanks to the existence of the Pixel Fold, it's also not close to being the most expensive. In fact, you could almost buy 2 of them for the same price as the foldable model. Actually, that's not precisely true, maybe a Pixel 8 and a Pixel 8 Pro. Now, there's a reason it's so widely loved by anyone who's tested it or bought it, and that's mostly because Google put together a lot of really high-end bits of hardware into this phone, and what's more, it's the most premium design as well. It's got the latest Gorilla Glass Victus 2, where the other phones don't, they have the older generation. It's got the brightest and sharpest display, not to mention it's the largest display in the range, and so as media consumption and gaming goes, it's the best experience you can get from a Pixel. In fact, when I look at the Pixel 8 Pro as an entire package, the display is the one standout feature that just screams flagship. It's wonderful to look at, and the fact that it's got 120Hz refresh rates means it's smooth and fluid as well, retaining that QHD resolution crispiness even when content is moving and flowing on the screen. The one other feature that really makes a difference is the telephoto zoom camera. For anyone who wants the most versatility they can get from a phone camera, having that 5x optical zoom makes a massive difference to the entire experience of using this phone for photography versus the regular Pixel 8 or the Pixel 7a. For photography enthusiasts and people who want manual tweaking on all their photographs, the Pro model also has a dedicated Pro camera mode, where you can rely on your own camera skills and not just take advantage of Google's epic AI-powered image processing abilities. Here's the thing though, apart from those 2 major standout features, it doesn't do all that much more than this phone. This is the Pixel 8, the standard model, with a slightly lower quality display, the older Corning Gorilla Glass Victus surfaces, and a dual camera system on the back. Now the Pixel 8 flies under the radar a little bit because it's not the Pro, but I think for a number of reasons it is the best choice for a lot of people. Because actually, despite the Pro being clearly better in a couple of ways, what makes the 8 Pro good is also available on the Pixel 8. Especially when you start thinking about things like the AI wallpaper generator or the magic editor features in Photos. The photos that it can take, and all-round speed and performance and fluidity, and even battery life. Just like the 8 Pro, this has the Tensor G3 platform inside it, so there's no real speed or performance bump from this when you go up to the Pro version. You also don't get much extra battery life with the Pro either, because while it does have a larger capacity, the extra display size and resolution means it drains at roughly the same speed. Now the Pro's extra display size also means another thing in the 8's favour, for me at least. The Pixel 8 is noticeably more compact. It's shorter and narrower, and that means it's not as cumbersome to carry around as its bigger sibling. Saying that, it's hardly the most compact phone, but interestingly it is the smallest phone in the range, and is even more compact than the Pixel 7a, which is cheaper, thanks to some skinny bezels around the display. In fact, of all the Android phones I've tested in the past 12 months, it's the Pixel 8 I found myself going back to. Partly because of that clean software experience, but also because the flat display is actually really quick and convenient to type messages on, and because it doesn't take up absolutely acres of space in my pocket. The Pixel 8 is that sweet spot. It's got the power and performance of the flagship phone, but in a device that doesn't cost as much. Now, I wouldn't go as far as saying it's an affordable phone, but it's significantly less than the Pixel 8 Pro. So for me then, the Pixel 8 is the best all-rounder, considering features, price and performance, especially considering it's also supported for 7 years with software updates, which is mammoth. Still, I do want to turn my attention to the Pixel 7a, because there's definitely a place for that in your pocket. This is your budget distilled down Pixel experience and your cheapest entryway into the world of Google Pixel. It's considerably cheaper than the Pixel 8 or 8 Pro, and at the time I made this video it's about $400. So it is one of the best phones at this price point. It doesn't have absolutely everything that the 8 or the 8 Pro have. For instance, when you look at the displays side by side with the other two, you'll immediately see it's not as vibrant or rich, and the bezels around the sides are pretty hefty too. Now the camera hardware isn't quite as good either, and along with the processor inside being an older Tensor chipset, I did find that when taking photos the results weren't quite as strong. There's a tiny bit more noise and the images seem to take longer to capture on the 7A, especially when taking photos at nighttime using the night mode feature. But here's the thing though, it still works and feels like a proper Pixel phone. The photos that come out of it are still strong for the price, and you get access to most of the smart AI features. The main downside I found of using the 7A compared to the 8 series is the older chipset. When using it for things like Google Maps navigation or even just listening to music on warmer summer days in particular, the phones seem to get really warm to the touch. The Tensor G2 isn't as battery or temperature efficient as the new one is, so when it gets hot you might find it throttles performance so that it doesn't overheat too much, and that's when you start to see a bit of lag and stutter. Now Google did make some compromises on the outside too, where the phone is made from plastic rather than glass on the back. It also has an older version of Gorilla Glass on the front, so the display isn't as durable and is not quite as waterproof either. Still, its water and dust resistance are high levels, so while I think if you do find the Pixel 8 discounted to $500 or $600, you should absolutely buy that instead of the 7A, you're still getting a lot of phone for your money at $400. There's no obvious contender at this price point when you consider all-round experience, especially if $400 is the maximum that you want to spend. So that leaves one phone in the Pixel range, the Pixel Fold. Now, I mean, what can I say about this? It's expensive, it's definitely not perfect, but it's blooming fantastic. Is it the best Pixel? Absolutely not. It's not even the best foldable on the market, I don't think. That crown belongs to the OnePlus Open in this style. It's also very expensive, but it does get some things really right. One of those is the outer display. It's a great size and makes using apps a breeze instead of being a cramped, uncomfortable experience. The cameras are similar to the 8 Pro 2, meaning a great versatile experience for taking photos and videos. Probably the best cameras you'll find in a foldable phone. Now the software experience isn't perfect on that big internal display, but it's improving all the time with updates. But unless you absolutely have to have a folding phone made by Google, the Pixel Fold isn't at a place yet where I could say this is definitely the best Pixel. But it's laying the groundwork for future devices, and that's what's important. Software and experiences are being developed for Android running on larger folding displays, and maybe by the second or third generation the Pixel Fold becomes more of a must-buy tool. Still, I love the way it looks, and I love the feel of it when it's opening and shutting. It's got a great hinge. But because it came out before the Pixel 8, it's using an older processor, but it does have a good chunk of RAM to make sure it stays smooth and fast. So which is the best Pixel? Well, as I've mentioned, when you consider the price, the value and what the phone offers, I think on balance the best Pixel for most people is the Pixel 8. It's a brilliant device that doesn't cost a fortune. It has great cameras, a lovely display, lovely size and build, and has 7 years of software updates. After that, I'd say the absolute best device, money no question, is the Pixel 8 Pro. It's a truly magnificent phone with unmatched cameras on the back, including that epic zoom lens. But for $400, the Pixel 7a will give you a wonderful all-round experience, but the lower quality display, cameras and old processor mean it doesn't quite match up to the Pixel 8 or even the Pixel 7 from the year before, which you might even be able to find at a similar price. So let me know what you think. Which of these Pixels do you think is the most sensible purchase option? I'm at Cam Bunton on Threads if you want to get me on there, or you can use the comments down below. If you did like this video, please do leave a thumbs up, subscribe and tap the notification bell, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye for now.